Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. I'm Mark Nuce. Thanks so much for joining us today on the program. With us is our friend, Dr. Carol Ventresca, who is Executive Director of Employment for Seniors. And Carol, thanks for coming by.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you so much for the invitation. I really enjoy being with you.
It's always great to have you here, and you guys are really, really busy, and we're going to go through a lot of different things you have going on. But first of all, your name kind of says it all, but for those who aren't familiar with Employment for Seniors, give us a little background about your mission and what it is you do.
Employment for Seniors has actually been in the community for over 40 years, and our goal is twofold. We want to help those who are 50 and over, living in either Franklin or a contiguous county, in their job search. There are lots of issues for mature job seekers, and we want to make sure that they have all the resources they need to be a successful candidate. But we are also reaching out to all of the local employers. We want to make sure they see a great win-win opportunity for them. They have a terrific job open, and we have some incredible clients ready to fill those spots. And there is a lot of value to employers in hiring a mature job seeker.
I find it so interesting. The world changes all the time, constant change. But I don't think anything has changed more than the way you look for a job. It is, I think, personally, more difficult now than it has ever been because it's so hard to even talk to a person.
Absolutely.
Because so much of it is done online. Can I fill out an application? Just go to our website and fill it out and we'll call you.
Exactly.
One of those kind of things. So how do you help these people get their foot in the door?
The most important part of what we do is actually talking to the employers, networking with employers, and talking to them and advocating for our clients so that employers no longer have the strange notion of what it is to hire an older person. They have a lot of misconceptions that an older person doesn't want to learn, they can't learn, they're set in their ways, it's going to cost them a fortune in insurance, and none of those things are true. So really a huge part of what we do is making those first steps for a person to get their foot in the door. Mm-hmm. And then really working with our clients to explain to them the differences in a job search process. It's very, very different in today's economy, and it is not easy. And the other part that makes it even more complicated, as many jobs as we post, and we posted over 1,200 jobs on our website last year, it is still a hidden job market. So how does a client become a successful candidate? Mm-hmm. Learning to network, understanding the importance of resumes, really rethinking their interviewing skills, and over and above everything else, convincing an employer that they are ready to do the job day one, and that they bring incredible value to the employer. Those are the messages that we try to get across.
And you and I were talking before the program started, and you were saying that one of the things that people really need to think about are transferable skills. Now, what is that, and how does that work?
Exactly. That's sort of my message this year. I've soon realized with our clients that they devalued their own skills because nobody was telling them how incredibly skilled they were and how powerful they've been. These individuals have been in some type of position for nearly decades. Why is it all of a sudden their skills are of no importance? So we're trying to get across the notion of a transferable skill. Now, a skill is something that you can learn. It's learning to do customer service or learning to run a particular machine or learning accounting. That's a learned skill. What makes it transferable is that you take it from one job to another job. So the example I gave you is somebody who's been teaching for decades will have great customer service. They've been dealing with people. That customer service skill is transferable to a new job. The important part of looking at transferable skills is to understand how to pick out what your skills are, to look at what employers are looking for. But the third piece of that is critical is understanding how you've been successful with your skills and being able to communicate that to an employer in an interview situation.
It's interesting because 20 years ago, when I first became familiar with employment for seniors and got involved a little bit, it was we have to make sure that the older people know how to use a computer. They don't even know how to turn one on. That's not the case anymore.
Exactly.
Just about everybody knows how to do at least something on a computer.
Oh, exactly. And the sort of the joke of every time somebody tells me that an older person cannot use a computer or doesn't understand the internet, I'm like, who's on Facebook? It's our moms and grandmothers. It's not the kids.
Right.
Again, that's what the message on issuing on issues of transferable skills is, that we grew up knowing computers. Those who are in their 50s and even in their 60s, we've used computers. We just need to make sure that an employer understands, yes, we can learn and we're willing to learn. We're not going to know every updated process and every bit of social media, but this is what we do know, and we have the capability of learning more. What's really important for mature job seekers is that notion of, we really need to do lifelong learning. We really need to keep increasing our skills. We can't depend on what we knew 50 years ago.
Dr. Carol Ventresca is here. She is the Executive Director of Employment for Seniors. Before we go on, tell people the website and the phone number and how they can get a hold of Employment for Seniors.
Absolutely, Mark. Thank you. And as I mentioned, Employment for Seniors is open to anyone 50 and over living in Franklin or contiguous counties. We don't look at income eligibility or your background education or what you've done. We're really just making sure that we can assist you. And a new client would need to call us 614-863-1219 to make an appointment to come in to see us, and they would meet with one of our volunteer job counselors and get registered in our system. And you only have to come to the office one time. After that, then we work with you over the phone and on email. In order to see some of what we do, our website is www.employseniors.org.
And Carol, it's interesting because a lot of the people who come to you, these employers, and there are a lot of them, you said 1,200 jobs listed, right. They get it.
Yes.
They've employed older workers, and they know their value.
We were so excited last year. I figured that our office was open for business about 244 days last year. And we had 233 clients report back to us that they found employment. So that's nearly a person a day. So we're pretty excited about that statistic. Employers would not call us if they were not interested in a mature job seeker. Mm-hmm. And our clients can be easy in their job application. They know that we work with those employers, and that if there is any problem or question, all they have to do is call us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're out there in the trenches every day. You see the economy, and you see the number of job listings go up and down. And, it wasn't too long ago, maybe 10 or 15 years, we couldn't get enough employees in Central Ohio. And then the recession hit, and you were having just the opposite problem. You didn't have enough jobs. So where does the job market stand right now?
It is that is exactly true, Mark. When I started in my position 7 years ago, we were lucky to have 40 to 60 positions on the website, and we actually hit 200 at the end of April. The economy is growing and better. The issues are that employers are still looking for the best possible candidate that has incredible skills and can do everything. Again, day one, you have to be ready to do that job. But the other problem is that mature job seekers, and this is a national statistic, if you have not found a job within 6 months of losing a position, it literally could be 2 years. So although more of our mature job seekers are getting hired, it's taking them longer time periods to get those positions. And the possibility of getting back up to the salary level that you had before the recession, that's really tough. The salaries are just not there. They're not matching up yet. But the opportunities are there, and that's what's important. Close those gaps on your resume and get new opportunities and learn new skills.
Are there more full-time or part-time positions right now? What's happening there?
It's really all over the board. And when I mentioned the great hiring success we had last year, that success went from the level of an executive director of a nonprofit all the way to the guys who are interested in doing driving limos. So it really runs the gamut. It's not, we're not just looking at small temporary part-time customer service positions. We have positions from one end of the array to the other. In terms of what employers are looking for, it really depends on the employer. There are a lot of positions that are temporary, part-time, seasonal type positions, but we also foster those opportunities for clients. As I mentioned, it's better to have something on your resume, close those gaps, and again, learn new skills, be networking with an employer. And so many of our clients who go into a part-time, temporary, seasonal type position end up working full-time.
With so much done online anymore when it comes to applying for jobs, how important is a resume, the actual physical resume?
Good question. Good question. Resumes are still very important, as are cover letters, although the understanding is that you have to do a cover letter unless the employer tells you they don't want it, but don't ever think anybody's going to read it. So you still need to do it. But again, it's the first look of who you are to an employer, so it's important to do it well. And resumes are important, and resumes are not applications. So it's not every legal detail of everything you've done. A resume really is a marketing tool. It's who I am, it's my brand, and it's got to show the value that you have given to an employer. It's not a list of tasks. It talks about value, success, and accomplishments.
Carol, I was looking at your schedule, Employment for Seniors. Not only are you helping people every day, but you've got a lot of interesting fun events, some workshops, a lot of things coming up. Let's start off with the month of May coming up here very soon, 19th and 26th for folks in Delaware County.
Absolutely. This is with a grant from SourcePoint, which had formerly been called the Delaware County Council for Older Adults. And SourcePoint has been supporting our efforts to bring our services into Delaware County. And those services are not only trying to find job seekers, but also trying to find employers. So we're out there talking to employers and getting jobs that are actually in somebody's area. And we have a series of workshops that we've been doing. May we'll finalize our spring workshops, and then we'll start them again in the fall. Right now they are located at SourcePoint, and they are free. You just need to call the office, again, 614-863-1219, and you can register for those workshops.
And then you also have coming up on the 25th of May, your annual Legacy Awards program.
Yes, and that is an incredible program. We are going to be honoring Cheryl Hay, who is the Talent Acquisition Director for Jobs Ohio. Cheryl has been a supporter of Employment for Seniors for a long time, a former board member. She was with the Columbus Chamber and also with Columbus State Community College and the Board of Regents. Her whole focus is on making sure that not only are job opportunities out there, but that our Ohio citizens have the talent, the skills, the education necessary to fill those jobs. She'll be getting the Marcus Award, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award. We are also going to be honoring Joel Roble, who is the host of Journey Through Aging, which is a different radio program, and is the marketing director at Westminster Thurber, and also Teleperformance USA, and they are going to both be getting our Legacy Award. So that's an incredible breakfast, and hopefully if anybody is interested in joining us, they are more than welcome. They can call the office and get information about ticket prices.
And then you have Job Search Basics coming up. That's another workshop on a couple of different dates. That's going to be in the Gahanna area?
Yes, at the Gahanna Library on Tuesday, May 31st and Thursday, June 2nd. And we're looking at the first workshop, we'll be looking at really laying out all of these issues of how to be a good job seeker. What are the things you need to do? Resume writing, interviewing skills, all the bits and pieces of finding out about employers, doing your research. And then on Thursday, June 2nd, we'll go over LinkedIn and social media and how that plays a huge role in a job search today.
And those workshops open to anyone in Franklin County?
Yes, they're really key to mature job seekers. So our target audience is 50 and over, but they are free, and you are more than welcome.
That's terrific. And then, of course, the Senior Expo, the Career Expo coming up. That
Yes.
is always huge. You've got how many do you think you're going to have this year, or how many did you have last year?